share. There we go. So let's talk about the next generation, because that's how the sport want to grow, is us paying homage to the ones before us and us, passing the torch to the ones after us. So I'm cool with passing the torch.
And bro, you say you did all that work your whole life, undefeated, but you grind to feed your kids and to make better for your family. I always say everything got a price because people say like, "I love my dog. I get $100." No, I get $1,000. No, I get $100,000. Hey, you can have him. Like my thought is everything has a price. There is not a number that can get you back in that ring. 80 million, 100 million.
Ah, because now you selling your soul.
$100 million, you can have my soul.
That's you. Now we know your character.
Yeah.
Sometimes, you look at people and you be like, dang, man, you ain't got no dignity. I stop it right there. What do you think about Channing Crowder's uh res- question, his example, and then his response, and then Bud Crawford's rebut? And I guess I'll just start then. I'll just say that I watched the many episodes of the show, and I like the show. I like the way that they interact. One thing is I this dude Ryan Clark, man, I don't know, man. He just has some bad takes. That's my only problem with it. Ryan Clark that has some bad takes, but as far as Channing Crowder, like watching the show, I know him to be like the one to push the limits, on questions that he asks. He be asking about, sex and all type of stuff like that. Like, oh, you be doing that, bro? Oh, me and my wife, we go to a new resort and all like he just talk about all kind of, stuff like that. So so this question, um, I mean him asking questions that are way out there isn't like outside of the norm, you know what I'm saying, of him. Uh and as we know, like Bud Crawford, he retired, he says he's not gonna go back into the ring. We never know, but we've seen people, change their mind and, you know, totally different. Mike said he wasn't gonna come back and play no more, but he did, that wizard run. We've had other athletes who, stepped away and came back. But uh his question, is there any amount of money? And then Channing's rebut kind of like was shocked. Not, I won't say it was shocking, but it was like, okay, like damn, like, are you serious? Are you just trying to ask a question to get out? Um, are you just asking a question to get a certain response? And so, he said, I would sell my soul, or you could have my soul, for 100 million. That was wild, bro. That was that was a wild, take. And I'll just say this before I go into it. You know, I've heard in the past, and I heard a lot of people talk about, selling their soul to the devil and things. People selling their soul to the devil and things like that. I don't believe that's really true. I don't believe you could sell your soul to the devil, because I believe the soul doesn't belong. Your soul doesn't belong to you. I mean, even though it's your soul, your soul belongs to God, whether you where put it out. But the lifestyle that you live determines where you go. So I think the devil, you know, um, uses that as a mechanism to think you could give something away to him that doesn't belong to you. And so that's how he has control over you. That's just my opinion. This is my belief, and so uh we've seen people in the industry do a lot of different things to get fame. And in this instance, I don't even think it doesn't have to be an act like a mythical figure like the devil or something like that. You can sell your soul in a lot, you can sell your soul in a lot of different ways. You could do things that are not moral. You can put yourself in situations that you know are outs that would normally be outside of your character. There's a lot of different things, and I think that coming from a person that don't have one, five, 10, $100 million. For people like that, sometimes people have crazy thoughts in their head, like that are selling their soul. But I see, like he came from, if you saw the whole interview, he came from, you know, uh, humble beginnings. And what he did was instead of putting the money in front of him, you know, I'll just say I don't want to go too biblical in here because whatever everybody's belief is their belief, but uh, the book says that people a lot of people think it says that money is the root of all evil. No, it says the love of money. What's the love? Like, how you feel when you love somebody, like you can't be without them. You want to be with them all the time. You want to caress and all that stuff, like money. The love of money is the root of all evil, not just the money, right? God knows we need money to survive. We need money to do things in life. We need money to eat, clothe, be a blessing to other people. So um th- it's known that we need funds. So he says in the interview that he put his drive to be great in the forefront and not the drive to make money in the forefront. And guess what? Some could say he's one of the greatest of all time. Whatever you say is whatever you say. But then you have on the other side, one person saying like, okay, guess what? Hey, and like I said, I don't know if he was speaking facts, like if that was something he really believed, like he really felt, but it did seem like it was, yeah, like, hey man, like Shannon, like what's going on, bro? Uh, but I want to say that to those who don't have money, put your success in to striving to be great, and the money is gonna come. That's in my humble opinion. That's what I'm still working on it. I'm still working on it, and I'm making waves. And that's the other part. Like, don't stop working on it. Like what I found, I get to talk to you guys about stuff that I didn't know before that I know now because I experienced some things. And guess what? I didn't know it now for whatever reason. My parents didn't have the insight to share with me. My parents didn't get around the right people, and I'm not gonna blame them for it. You know, uh, but I get to figure out things for myself. And what I didn't know then, but I know now, now I can share it with my kids. I can share it, with other generations so they could be better off and they could be further along. And so like that was a dope comeback, man. Like you don't know people's character when they do anything for money, man. Hey, like I said, I want to go biblical, but you had Judas. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't the people that was outside of the circle. It wasn't the people outside of Jesus' circle who betrayed him. It was one inside the circle who traded him for some. We traded him for silver. He sold his soul. We see it every day. People out there selling their soul on these street corners. Some of them look good though doing it. When I drive, sometimes when I go down Figueroa, they be look. Some of them look good out there. I ain't even gonna lie to y'all. I ain't stopping them. I ain't saying, "Come on here, get in the car." I ain't never said that. But
Mm,
all for money.
mhm.
We hear about those cats that sell that, that green, that white, that the other stuff, selling they soul for money because those type of people don't live long. But yeah, that kind of shocked me. Even though I heard Channing, I think I called him Channing. I heard Channing say some crazy stuff in the past. That kind of like threw me like, hey man, like man. And Bud kind of alluded. He's like, hey, That's type you gotta watch out for these type of people because now you know where they stand and you know, like, hey, if the right amount of money come up, it, it's not no limit to what they may do. But anyway, Cuzzo, I'll let you share and then we go from there. Well, that was Ron.
Yeah, man, you went in right there. So I don't have much to say. I'll
Literally
just add on.
figuratively.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just add on to what you said. I mean, basically, it's like you gotta watch the people that are around you or the people that surround you. You know, a lot of times you be thinking people are with you and they with you just to take from you or to see what they can get from you. You know, it might take $100,000 for them to take you out. You know, it might take $2,000. You know, so the people with the high moral characters, those are the ones that you want around you. Yeah, the people who don't have that could be, or have an entertainment value. He might have just said that for shock value. We don't know, but
Right.
you definitely just kind of watch how people move and how they speak, because you never know what they can and will do, for the right number. So I'll say that for sure. But shout out to Bud, man, for standing on his square and showing, people it's about, being great first and then the money follows greatness. It's never the other way around. So no doubt.